Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. All right, there's a couple dragonflies flying around. You see them on the last tomato plant right there. Hopefully that's a pair and they're breeding. They're moving around kind of fast, so I don't know if y'all can see them. Right there. One on the right, one on the left of the tomato cage. But anyway, I absolutely love dragonflies. They eat mosquitoes and gnats. Oh, there's another one on that cage. Now, I sprayed myself with off before I came outside because the mosquitoes absolutely love me. And I scratch until I make a sore. So I sprayed myself down. And then I came out to check the garden because I actually watered 2 days in a row because these raised beds tend to dry out faster than in the ground, apparently. But I wanted to come check and see what we got. And let me turn around here. I don't know when the deal is ready to pick. What do you do with it? I don't have a clue. But I knew I had a lot of squash. And I planted straight neck squash, I think. That one's getting a little fat, but still only about 4 or 5 inches long. And that one there. And I got a bigger one up under. See if y'all can. The sun is so bright. Yeah, it's there. That one's almost ready to pick, and there's one over there that needs to fatten up a little bit, and then it'll be ready to pick. And that's zucchini. But I've got quite a few squash that are starting to grow a little bit more. Same way with zucchini. But lots of blooms, and I come out early in the morning, and the honeybees are over here pollinating the mess out of this stuff. So that's good. I dug around the side of some of the carrots here, and they're little teeny tiny. They're only about an inch long, and they're not very big around, 1/4 inch or so. They got a long ways to go. As far as radishes, I've probably got 1 or 2 that I could pick. I see this one's poking up out of the ground. But I didn't grab I don't eat a lot of radish. They're good, to me, they're good cut up in the salad. But I've got some blooms on some tomato plants that are starting to come out. Let me see if I can find any. There's one. And there's another, actually 3 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 or 5 on that plant. So I've got some tomato blooms that are coming out, and the bees are going to love that. And I've got a few blooms on my potatoes. I've had those for a while, coming and going. This plant fell over. I should have put a cage on it, but I didn't. And then I came over and I took all the vines that are trying to run out of the watermelon bed and laid them back up in the bed. And when I was doing that, I found a bloom. So the watermelon's starting to bloom, which means I'll have baby watermelons there before long. And I've got a second little rose there that's red. So this thing's getting ready. There's another one there that hasn't opened up yet. So this thing's getting ready to put on some more flowers, which is good. That attracts the bees. These tomato plants, I don't have any blooms on them yet, but they are quite a bit smaller. But the corn is, if I stand it up, it's taller than I am. You know, pull up the leaves. Nothing ever grew in the onion bed here, so. Doing pretty well, to be honest with you. I just like eating stuff out of the garden, and radishes are a little bit spicy and can be hot, but I don't think I'm going to get any cabbage out of my cabbage. It's done got too hot in southwest Georgia. But my beans are running a lot of vines, and I'm curling them back around so they'll stay on the tomato cage. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand, then I forget about the camera and y'all don't get to see anything. But I'm running the vines around, and see how those vines actually wrap together to make themselves stronger to go straight up, and more over there. Looks like I may have some little pods that are trying to come out on here. There's a bloom over on that one. So I may get a few green beans too. I don't know. I don't know how much these things are going to produce. There's some blooms on this one. So I don't know how much they're going to produce, but they do seem to be doing really well. I'm going to take this limb and run it back up inside the tomato cage. So maybe it will stay, you know, where I can manage it. Corn, there's some yellow leaves at the bottom, and I don't know why. It could be not enough water or too much water, but some of this corn is, if I straighten it up as tall as I am, and there's some in there that's taller than me. But it's doing pretty good. I see my brother-in-law way over there on the lawnmower. I had to go help him yesterday. I think his starter solenoid, you know, it's not on the starter, but the solenoid went out on it because he couldn't get it to do anything, and I jumped it and it fired right up. So the battery was fine. His battery's only 3 months old. But the garden looks to be doing really, really well. Nothing's popped up in these pots. Those were apple seeds I put in there. You know, if it don't come up, it don't come up. Dragonflies are still flying around. I'm really, really enjoying the raised bed garden. There's very little weeds that I've had to pull out of the beds. And to me, weeding is the worst thing about planting gardens, is the weeds will take over if you slack off on them, you know, or if you get busy for a week and then come out and you go, holy crap, you spend 3 hours weeding. But I have not had a bad weed problem. Yes, I've pulled quite a few small ones. When I'm watering them and I see one, I reach down and pull it up by the roots and throw it out. But I haven't had a bad problem. So I've been real pleased with it. So now that the raised bed garden is built, I'll probably add to it some, but it is built. And that means next year I'll probably be able to plant sooner so that I can get things like cabbage and lettuce and that stuff to grow. But this, you know, the leaves that hit the ground seem to turn yellow, and I don't know why, but all that garden soil I put in has fertilizer mixed in with it, and I may have to add more, you know, I don't know. But we'll find out. I'm learning, trying, and if I get any potatoes at all out of all those potato plants in the grow bags, that's more than I ever got from the ground, because the ground was just too hard here to deal with. I'm seeing at least 4, if not 5, of those dragonflies. So there's one over there, one here, one there. They're moving around pretty quick. But there's a bunch of dragonflies flying around, and I'm absolutely loving it. So, all right, let's go over here and take a look at the chickens. They all seem to be doing really well. And I had a thought earlier when I was riding back from church today. It's Sunday afternoon. And they sell little mesh bags you can tie over fruit that allows the fruit to continue to grow and get light, but keeps insects and stuff from getting to the fruit. Thought about buying several dozen of those, maybe 20 or 30. And when I see peaches start, put those bags over them and let the peaches grow inside those bags and hopefully prevent pests from getting them. I don't know. That'd be next year. It's too late for this year. The chickens all seem to be doing really well. I've had a hen in the last pen here, one of the Rhode Island Reds, must have a sore foot or leg or something. She was hopping on one leg for about 2 or 3 days, and now she walks on that leg, but she limps. But she does, instead of fly from one point to the other, she's been running. So hopefully whatever was wrong with her leg or foot is getting better. But all the chickens seem to be doing well. I did candle the eggs up under the black sex link in the pen over there with Sue. I put a couple of boards in there. Let me pause it and I'll go in and show y'all. All right, my screen's dark. I don't know why. Maybe it's just so much sunlight out here. But I did candle these eggs the other night. My grandson spent Friday night, Saturday, and Saturday night with me, and then went to church with me this morning and went home with his parents after church. But there's 13 eggs up under her, and she's doing a good job setting on them. I counted the eggs, and it appears that probably 9 or 10 at least are fertile, if not all fertile. It was hard to tell on a couple of them, but definitely she's going to have some baby chicks hatch in about a week. 5 to 7 days, somewhere in there, she should have some babies hatching. And I went ahead and changed out their feeder from the layer pellets to the Start and Grow. It's close enough to the ground that the baby chicks can get feed. I put a couple of these pieces of OSB up there so they could walk up and down out of the nesting box. And I brought in a waterer and put it there so they'd have access to water, since they won't be able to reach up there to that one. I put a new hose on there too, and my mud puddle's drying up, thank goodness. Had to buy another new hose. The one that I bought from brand new leaked, so I did buy another hose, a different brand, and it seems to have stopped my water issue, so my eggs have been cleaner. And if you see, there's a couple of hens in the nesting box over there laying their egg. There's 9 hens in the middle pen with Junior, and I've gotten 9 eggs 2 out of the last 3 days. I got 8 on that other day. So they're laying really, really well. I save all my old eggshells, and when I get a bag full of them that's dried out, I crumble them all up with my hand. I put gloves on because they're kind of sharp, and crumble them up as small as I can and mix it in with their feed, and that adds some calcium back to those hens that are using calcium to make eggs. And a lot of people say it helps them lay more eggs too, because they've got the calcium they need. And sure enough, I got 9 eggs 2 out of 3 days and 8 on the other one, so it does seem to help. I may go buy some oyster shell and put in there. It is and Sue's over here. I've been putting the little barnyard mix sweet one in here with him a few hours every now and then to give him some company. But I'm standing in the shade, y'all. It's been going really well. The hens, of course, it's 2:30, I think, somewhere right around that on Saturday afternoon. And we had a good rain shower this morning, so I can't cut grass right now, although my brother-in-law is. The grass is really too wet to cut right now. And I need to cut grass, but we're off work on Monday, the holiday, so y'all will see this video on Tuesday. And I hope y'all are having a nice and safe holiday, and remember why we celebrate this day, for all the people that sacrifice so that we have the freedoms that we enjoy. But I'm not going to dig into that too much, but make sure you appreciate what you've got, people. There was a price paid for it that a lot of people aren't willing to pay. But either way, it is about time to clean the pens out again. It's driving me nuts at how much poop they have let go in there, and knowing it's going to take me, 8 hours of hard shoveling to get all that stuff out there and back down to the hard ground, and loading the wagon up and all that. That's just more than I feel like doing, especially when it gets really hot. But they have sure laid some poop and put it down thick in there on the roost and on the ground. But she's sitting on 13 eggs. I'm sorry, I kind of jump around on conversation. But she's sitting on 13 eggs, and if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I'd bet she's going to hatch out at least 9 or 10 baby chicks. If she doesn't hatch out 13, they very well possibly could hatch all 13, but I'd bet 9 or 10 if she stays on them long enough for them all to hatch. But I'm not going to go in there because those hens will jump up. But their feeder is more than 3/4 full. This one with 20 hens and a rooster over here, I've been getting 18 to 20 eggs over here too. They're doing really, really well on laying, but they're emptying that feeder almost every day. Not empty, it gets down to less than 1/4, and then I fill it back up because they can't go 2 days with it. So today I probably won't fill it up. It's just slightly under halfway, there'll be enough there. Since I'm off tomorrow, I can come out here and fill it tomorrow before late evening, and they'll be fine. But guys, the hens are absolutely, King Whitey back there playing in the dirt pile like the hens are. Y'all can't see him. He's in the very back corner up against the fence. But the hens are absolutely loving this warmer weather. They do hide in the pens in the heat of the day when the sun is all out here in the run area. But old Tom Turkey stays up on the roost quite a bit. But when it starts cooling off like it is right now, he'll come down and he'll walk around and he'll strut. I'll throw him some feed, but he's not high enough to where he's hurting himself flying up and down now. So that's a good thing. But either way, I wanted to do a video and show y'all. We've got several other things done. My grandson and I didn't do a whole lot this weekend. But one thing I've run into with all the cloud cover we've had in the last couple weeks is the solar panel is not quite enough to fully charge the cameras. So I had 4 cameras, the 2 out here on the chicken pens and the fuel storage, and the front and this side that are activated more than the back and side, because this is where we move and come and go so much. So I went ahead and ran extension cord out and plugged in and to fully charge those cameras, and they'll typically go 2 or 3 days. When the battery's fully charged, if we've got good clear sunshiny days, no problem. The cameras run and then they charge back up. But when you got a lot of cloud cover, they don't get it quite enough charged during the day, then your camera end up shutting down early morning, late at night, early morning, you know, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, the camera will shut off because the battery's weak. And then when the sun comes up at 6:30, by 7 o'clock, they put enough power back into the battery, the camera comes back online. But I want my cameras 24/7, not 24 hours, not 20 or 21. So I've been trying to keep them charged, and I may end up running a power outside to where I just plug them in and leave them that way and not worry about the little solar panel that comes with them. The cameras do a really good job, but the solar panel apparently needs to be just a little bit bigger, or the battery pack needs to be a little bit bigger to handle, you know, more cloudy days. But either way, I'm still enjoying the cameras. I've got 2 more ordered, and those 2 are basically going to be where I can use them out in the woods, because my Wi-Fi reaches out there now with that range extender on it, and be able to do some non-YouTube content, gun training and stuff, and record it with those cameras. And you'll be able to see that on Rumble and Liberty Club and so on, but you won't see that kind of content on YouTube, not from me, because they'll just delete my channel, and I've worked too hard to let them do that. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Remember what I always tell you: Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe, be prepared. Oh yeah, and there's been quite a few butterflies over here as well. I just enjoy watching it, watching the pollinators come in and do their job, and watching the dragonflies. That's the most dragonflies I've seen on my property in quite a while. So maybe that's a good thing. But y'all be good.